Hello everyone, Mike the MC, bringing another self-care video. Today I'm going to share with you number 254 of the Catechism with respect to distinction. I know, I've been writing on this Holy Trinity for a while now, but now we're going to go into distinction. The beauty of being unique and distinct from one another and how it really plays into your role, my role, to be charismatic leaders, role models for people who want to follow us in the community. And so let me share with you number 254 of the Catechism and see where this takes us for the video. So 254 states the following. The divine persons are really distinct from one another. God is one, but not solitary. Father, Son, Holy Spirit are not simply names designating modalities of the divine being, for they are really distinct from one another. He is not the Father who is the Son, nor is the Son who is the Father, nor is the Holy Spirit he who is the Father or the Son. They are distinct from one another in the relations of origin. It is the Father who generates the Son, who is begotten, and the Holy Spirit who proceeds. The divine unity is triune. A divine divinity triune. Wow, that is so unique. But yet that divine unity is very distinct among itself. And so relating back to number 253, right, this idea that I'm sharing this idea of light, shining in a gem to share with other people what they see from different perspectives of the same person. Okay, now we're going a little further with this idea of distinction. Why is it important that you and I are distinct from going our own paths in different ways of life? Okay, why is that important? Why should we not copycat each other, or why should we copycat even to a point where, okay, I'm going to be unique and follow you, and I'm going to follow you to the bitter end, but now I realize, okay, if I do so, I may lose a bit of my identity. So I don't want to lose identity. I want to make sure that it's upholding what I believe is right. Or maybe I'm just doing it just to be foolish, right? So you got to look at the motives of why you're doing things in reality, why you do certain actions, so that way that it reflects that unity that you have with the rest of the world and people around you. And so I think with that distinction, how do you make sure that you really are shining in front of a crowd? How is it that, okay, when you're applying for jobs, sometimes you're not the first one they pick, but yet for other jobs, they pick you right off the bat. And it goes back to when they look at your resume, what you said to them in the interview, what people were hearing from you when you were out and about talking that made people believe what you were saying was true, right? From my videos to you, you may like what I say. You may not like what I have to either. But the thing is, when you hear me talk, it's giving you the opportunity to say yay or nay to what I'm talking about. And so at least you have the opportunity to hear what I'm talking to you about by, at least from my perspective, giving you something to work with. So you got to give people something to work with, and either they will accept or reject what it is that they see, right? Maybe someone has been in some shady history of some kind, but then all of a sudden lately, the last year, they're really making a difference in their life, right? Can a person change to where you want them back on your team? Can a person change where they're now finding redemption and that they are now trustworthy? See, now let me push this narrative a little further. You go into the distinction with relationships. Do you want to be distinct from your partner to a point where you no longer have that control over them, to where you love them as true, beautiful people, and are willing to give them the space to be authentic? Are you willing to do that? That's very challenging, because the thing is, a lot of people fear when they give up that control, that distinction is dangerous and that they will override you and what you want to do in the household, what you want to share with your children, the lessons, etc., how you want to guide them. And so distinction is fearful in that sense, because you want to make sure that you don't lose your own identity. But then that's the thing. Does distinction grow within different contexts, situations, like relationships, work environments, different projects that you are associated with, etc.? And I think distinctions can grow and become more unique in that regard, because now you're really giving yourself a new environment to work in, a new place to become a more authentic version of yourself. Are you willing to become more authentic to your husband, your wife, your partner, now that you are more intimate, sharing your ideas more directly with somebody? Now they're giving you feedback. Ooh, right? People don't want to hear negativity about what they believe, or maybe they want to hear the positivity, right? Who wouldn't? We're human. We want to hear positive things. But when you hear the negative views of what you believe in, right, that's a very harsh part of reality that we have to accept, or we can reject it, right? And it's like, okay, never mind. I don't want to live with that person. I want to run away. I don't want to be with that person anymore. I think they are toxic. I don't value their distinction. They're too distinct to where I don't trust them. yada yada, so I'm going to leave. Okay, fine. That was your choice. You left them. Now they feel like, oh my gosh, what did I do? That now they are questioning themselves. Did I just do something wrong to them? Or now maybe they really were evil and they're like, oh, I'm glad that person's out of my life. And so distinction is really unique when it goes to different contexts in life. And you're wondering, okay, how is it that I can protect my distinction in different parts of my life? Or do you want your distinction to become unique over time, right? Do you want your distinction to grow and develop into something that is so beautiful? And I think distinction is so wonderful and so unique in that, right? I've been saying that repetitively now, the idea of being unique, but the whole idea is, how do you allow your character to grow? And I think the word character is relatable to this context, as far as you being who you are, you know what you believe, you know what you want to follow, admire, and maybe people are going against you, but then all of a sudden you attract people into your life because of what you believe. That takes bravery. It takes bravery to go against what people are saying is popular, not popular, and maybe you're creating something someone else always had in mind, and now you're putting words to it. You're putting words to what you were up to. Oh, I got a counseling business. Oh, I got this degree. Oh, I'm doing this kind of service. Do you need that service? Do you need that help? Because now I'm providing that to you. Is this what you always had in mind? But now someone has given you a definition of what it means, right? The idea of a word and a concept coming together, where you have a word and the concept that is sharing what the word is all about. Okay, that there is this item, a square of some kind of book, and the book is the word of that item, and now the concept is, okay, a book has information within it, and then the context of reality in relation to us is that, okay, we use the book for information. And so the Trinity comes back to that. It is so unique, of that idea of substance, person, and relation. And now the Trinity is really, as I was alluding to with earlier from 252 of the Catechism, how those three parts come into play later on in all reality. So now, with distinction, how does that play a part in your life of being a substance, a person, and a relation to many people, parts of your life in the world around you? How do all those three relate back to distinction? And how are you going to recognize that your partners may be distinct from you, but you have now the opportunity to either accept or reject them as who they are? Things to consider. All right, everyone, I hope this video finds you well with number 254 of the Catechism. I hope you all are strong. Don't give up on yourself. Remember that you have a unique distinction of who you are, your identity. Protect it, of course, but don't forget, if people are trying to override you, protect yourself and get away from toxic situations as best you can to defend yourself. Or if you're willing to embrace the change, embrace the new change of character for your distinction, all right, go for it. See what works for you. But these are just ideas that I like to share with you, so use what I got with a grain of salt. You have your power to you, and you're going to do the right thing. All right, everyone. Hope this video finds you well. Take care. Have a good one.